What is going on, guys? Tuesday, September 20th. So ready for that fall weather. It teases us with the cool day, and then it gets hot as shit again here in Maryland. But either way, Comic News Weekly. Got some great stories to talk about tonight. Some movie news, some comic news, some comic animated news, and then just some batshit crazy. I won't even say, I guess batshit's not the right word. Like a flash, but we're going to get into those here in a little bit. We also run a little leap. We got the Fearsome Foursome tonight. We don't know if we might have some prize drop-ins or not, but either way, let's introduce those people in here right now from Beyond Wednesday's YouTube channel. It's got the hair flowing with the fan. Freaking love to see it, Mr. Brian McClay.
Hey, baby, it's hot out here. It's hot out here.
You tied it down.
No. I got the headphones on, man.
That was awesome. It's like a rock video. How's everything going?
It's going good, bro. Busy. Currently looking at prices for Baltimore Comic-Con stuff, and man, trying to pay those airline fees sometimes it gets you.
I hear you. They need some I don't know, some value stamps and comic books for plane tickets.
That'll work.
Welcome, GT Comic, best avatar on YouTube, as we always say, double O. But we also have Mr. Button Pusher himself, Mr. Comic Man Andy Alberto El Dad Joko.
What's good? Whoa, it was wrong spot here. How did that happen? Hey, happy Tuesday. It's good to be back, and boy, we've got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. I was literally reading something, just couldn't, total disbelief.
Yeah, and I think we're thinking about kind of dropping that topic, but there's some, it's like read the tea leaves on some of that craziness, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And also before we introduced our last panelist for the night, pour out a little liquor for those who got Trey Lance in their fantasy football and those rookie cards that they were getting ready to unload. But heart goes out to him as well with some season-ending surgery for the 49ers. Some crazy games this week if you're a football fan, man. There's some crazy comebacks. Me being a Washington fan, I got what I expected. But it was great to be a Florida State fan. But either way, also rounding us out tonight, Mr. Rhinoverse himself, we have Mr. Ryan Hayslip coming back from Colorado, South Park.
Yeah. I wish I had visited South Park. That was cool. But the Trey Lance thing was definitely a big bummer. As soon as I heard it, I was like, I just saw boop, 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 all those little rookie cards that I've had just kind of trickle down. But you know what they say, when those things go down, it makes a great buying opportunity. So don't let that fool you.
Yeah, I mean, there was a rookie that I had that I just got back into cards. I didn't realize it was an auto at the time, and then was like, turn it over, and there's a Saquon Barkley autograph rookie card.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Saquon's a good. That's a good person to actually talk about, because he got hurt after his rookie year. He got hurt and then kind of poo-pooed, and now he's back at it again. So his cards are starting to go.
Flashback to the past when remember McGahee getting hurt in the bowl game and insurance policy like he took out on his leg or whatever.
Yeah,
pretty decent career. But great week tonight. We got some great stuff to talk about. I know you guys in Houston and Arizona, we've talked about you guys don't really experience fall, and McClay just gave you a heads up in a few weeks. A lot of us here will be changing our clocks except for you.
Yeah, that's a fun time for me, let me tell you. You don't show up late or 2 hours early. Not in Arizona, bro. No, hell no. We don't fuck around with that shit.
Yeah. He's like, it's just hot all year long, no matter what time.
Yeah. Hey, there's supposedly some type of maybe law being or new bill being introduced to end that across the board. I think they should. The only reason we do that is because of the old days when it came with farming and being out, during the daytime.
Yep. Yeah, that was the whole reason for it all. And it's kind of doesn't really, I mean, I'm sure they figured it out now. They don't have to change your clock around.
Yeah.
It's more of a nuisance than anything. The biggest problem is trying to go back and forth with the sleep, man. The sleep thing will kill you.
And real quick before we get to the first topic, McClay touched on it a little bit last week, but to double down on it, stay the hell away from Topps Chrome baseball cards. There's a lot of crap going on with those. Topps is already overprinting a shitload. Now there's putting stuff out, missing a lot of short prints, right?
Yeah. So, first of all, I ordered a case of Topps Chrome baseball jumbo boxes 6 months ago, right? And the reason why is because I knew this year's rookie crop was going to be huge. You got, Wander, Julio Rodriguez, Spencer Torkelson, you got all the studs, Bobby Witt Jr., just tons and tons of young players that are amazing. And Topps Chrome baseball is known as like the rookie card product, right? Every hobby box you're supposedly guaranteed 3 rookie autos, and every hobby or jumbo box you're guaranteed 5 rookie autos, which is a lot.
The key word there, you were.
Yeah, you were. So then, as you guys heard a couple weeks ago, they came out and said, we're adding base veteran autos now. So now you're not guaranteed just to get rookie autos. That's a bummer already. Then everybody started going, when the product started showing up, everybody's like, where are the Julio Rodriguez and the Torkelson and the Bobby Witt Juniors? I know they're short printed, but you're supposed to get at least a couple short prints, per box, at least one. I mean, if you open a case, you're guaranteed to get at least, I would think, 5 short prints, so you have a good chance at maybe pulling one of those 4 players that are short printed. The biggest rookie in like the past 10 years in baseball, they have short printed this Julio Rodriguez kid. So I'm like, oh, that's a bummer too. Well, people started going, where are the short prints? Yeah. Nobody's pulled one yet. People start talking. Topps goes, yeah, we messed up. We forgot to put the short prints in the product.
Wasn't it Topps also who had the
when they get announced that
was bad?
After
like, double auto that wasn't signed by the actual players?
Yes, yeah, David Wright and Tom Seaver, I think, right? They've done this. Last year they announced that Kellenic was going to be a short print rookie. They didn't print it. And here's the biggest problem.
It's a super short print that way.
Yeah.
Negative.
So here's the biggest problem to me. I get a case. It gets delivered finally on Monday. I don't want to open it now. And on top of it, I dropped almost $4,000 for this case. 3,600.
Yeah.
8 jumbo boxes, right? So I'm like, I dropped $3,600 for this case. I ponied up money 6 months ago, right? And now I have it. I don't want to open it. So Topps comes out and says, yeah, we messed up. We're going to give a silver pack, a special silver pack of cards that will have 2 cards in every pack. And you have a chance at getting one of those short print rookies in the pack. What
the heck?
Yeah. And how do you know that I bought the box? Like, what do I got to do? So I contacted where I bought my box from. Shout out Steel City Collectibles. I hit them up on Instagram. They're like, yeah, you will be getting, whenever we get the silver packs, you'll be getting your silver packs. But I don't want the silver packs. I want, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
In my opinion,
that's some Willy Wonka shit.
Yes, they should be sending everybody who bought like jumbo cases the same chances that we would have been able to get those cards in jumbo cases.
Yeah.
Is there like a case hit at least?
I don't know. I'm not even going to open it, man.
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
If you bought a case and they have one case hit, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get at least one. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But
I'm
so more of the story. Don't mess with Topps Chrome baseball this year. But get into our topics. A lot of people, we've talked about Warner Brothers, we've talked about DC, we've talked about DCU. There's more news coming out of that, but we're also kind of seeing maybe the trajectory, the strategy that they are starting to take there. We got news that Constantine TV series that was being produced by J.J. Abrams and that Madame Xanadu that can't speak for everyone, but I myself didn't want to begin with. They were canceled. But on that same news, Keanu Reeves is coming back with the same director for a sequel to Constantine. What are your guys' thoughts? I'm excited. I heard Alberto say that Keanu's going to resurrect the DC universe with this a little tongue in cheek, but I think there's some little seriousness to it because he brings some box office gold and one of the nicest men on the universe in Keanu Reeves. But what do you guys think? J.J. Abrams still seems to be attached to produce with Bad Robot. It seems like DC, Warner Brothers, Discovery Plus, whatever you want to call it, and J.J. Abrams' Bad Robots kind of joined at the hip for a lot of these things that are coming out from Warner Brothers and DC. But turn it over to you guys.
El Beardo.
I am tickled pink. My funny bones are tingling. My ankle bones are tingling. I know not a lot of people will agree with this, but Constantine, for me, the first movie, that's DC done right. I loved the movie. Maybe a lot of people didn't like it back then, but it's grown a cult following over time. And if DC makes any right decision, it's to pump some money into this next year or two or a couple of years or whatever. I don't feel like this is played out. I don't feel like this is tired. I feel like Keanu Reeves as that character in that movie was the kind of Constantine that I enjoy watching, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm a little concerned with how much of a role J.J. Abrams is going to play after some past news and information, but either way, I think the actor really makes the character, and I think they're if they stick to whether it be a sequel or, I mean, they're talking about it is going to be a sequel, but if they tie it hand in hand with the first movie and give you a little bit of Easter eggs from the first movie and carry it forward, a lot of people have some serious history with the first movie and watched it over and over and over. It'd be a real treat to dive right back into that universe with Keanu Reeves at the helm.
Yeah, I think the first one was more of, I don't want to say a cult hit, but it did better on DVD and after the fact than I think it did in the box office. I mean, you had star power and Keanu, but even more star power with Al Pacino. I mean, coming off of Heat and some of those other great movies, when the best Pacino line ever from Heat, you just got a great ass. But
so what's Keanu's part in it? I mean, besides being an actor, is he helping direct it or fund or anything like that?
As far as I know, he's just acting in it.
He's got a lot of these movies that are kind of coming back, like Keanu, of all Keanu's good movies, like all the stuff he did, which this is one of the good movies.
He did a lot of bad movies, and for the longest time there, it's like the only thing he was good in was the movies where he just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like, the classic, but it seems like you don't see him in a lot of new stuff now. Now he's kind of just regurgitating some of these things that he did, which is not bad as long as it's done right. I can't remember if I saw the new Bill and Ted's or not.
The new Bill and Ted wasn't worth much to watch. Ever since Matrix, though, love Keanu, and then of course when he came out with John Wick, it was just like a whole different Keanu Reeves, in my opinion.
Yeah. See, then they had the new Matrix. That new Matrix movie came out, right?
Yeah, don't watch that. He played himself in that one comedy movie that was awesome. I forgot what the name of it, but
that's what I'm saying. Like the original stuff, and he keeps going back to these. They keep kind of redoing these movies that is going to kind of say it's going to follow that same trend. I hope it. I would love to see some good stuff, but
we're focusing really heavily on Keanu Reeves coming back in this. It's not him pushing the buttons to make this happen, as far as I know.
I just don't understand. I'm just so jaded again. That's what I've become. I've become the guy that is just so mad at everything. And I really try not to be, but this is my opinion on it. I don't understand why these big freaking movie production studios, Warner Brothers, DC, they just want to rip the hearts out of their fans. You know what I mean? Like they don't care about their fans. I don't get that. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the fans didn't love Constantine, the movie, and Keanu. He was great. But Constantine fans love the guy that's playing, that Matt Ryan guy that's playing. What's his name? Is that his name? Matt Ryan? Something like that?
Yeah, they had a different guy lined up for the series, but I know you're talking about the guy from it wasn't even CW, right? It was
WB, yeah. It was well, they did a Constantine series on like Hulu.
That's what it was.
And then
he was awesome.
Yeah, he was perfect. He is like so perfect. It's the same exact way with like Grant Gustin. We'll get in that later, but there's so many people are like, this character is this guy playing this character is perfect. It's one of the reasons we love Kevin Feige so much, is that 90% of the time he hits it out of the park. He knows what the fans are looking for, this and that. Warner Brothers and DC don't give two shits about the fans. They don't at all.
I think this is just to get butts in seats from a box office standpoint. Nothing against Keanu, but I'm with you, Brian, where it's like it's better to have someone I know that guy, he played Constantine, and not like I'm gonna go see the new Keanu movie.
Exactly. Yep.
That's why
Star Wars was always so. That's why Star Wars has always been bigger than the actor that plays the character, right? Here's a perfect example. Exactly what Brian was saying. What did we start off by saying? This is Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves. He's gonna save it. Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves. This is about fucking Constantine. Like, I don't get, again, fan service. They just want, Kathleen Kennedy wants to rip the heart out of the fans. 343 Studios wants to rip the heart out of the fans. You know what I mean? Like, Warner Brothers, just rip that freaking heart out. Just rip it out.
I hope this does well. One, because of Constantine as a character, but I want what was talked about years ago. Guillermo del Toro was attached to it one time. I want that Justice League Dark.
Yeah. We were all stoked for that. Nobody, I don't get that. I feel like they're just so disconnected from real people in Hollywood and in these big conglomerate, Warner Brothers. They're just so disconnected. It's unreal. I would love to talk to somebody over there that, like, just to get them on a podcast and be like, oh, let's talk about your job. Like, what is your job? Oh, you're the liaison between the fans and the thing, or you go to these meetings and keep continuity. And I would just love to, like, bring him on a show and then oh, thanks for coming on. Why do you hate us?
Yeah, it's weird because it's like you would think that they would have like a panel of people that like know DC or that are big fans of whatever they're working on, and go to them for because they speak for the people, and that's who's consuming it. Instead of just trying to come up with the best idea, the best idea would be to ask the fans on what they want. Have like a panel, and it could be anonymous. They could just select some, have everyone who wants bad, and then pick certain anonymous people from different parts of the country or the world, and have them all, answer even a form, like some kind of like survey that would help them direct and understand what was going on with the movie. And then I believe their movies would be way better. I mean, because they would be, it's fan service, but they're servicing the fans. That's who's buying the tickets.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments if you're watching this on replay. Are you excited for Constantine? What do you want to see in the future from, WB and the DC EU? I don't want to necessarily call it the EU, but that's what it's been referenced as. There's a whole bunch of other articles like the Snyderverse ruined the DCEU. It's Drew Division, but
well, that was a whole other cluster after that.
I'm excited to see the future. Hopefully, it does well. Like Keanu Reeves, I kind of wish they would have stayed with a different casting, but I will watch it with excitement. There's some
it might be a smart play financially, because I feel like the fan base for Keanu Reeves is a lot larger than the fan base for Constantine overall.
I'll go on record with something that hasn't been said yet, and although that's said tied to the hip, I don't have full confidence in J.J. Abrams' ability to produce this with Bad Robot. He's 50-50 with some of his shit lately.
Yeah, I agreed. But can you kind of see where I'm coming from? Like, you guys are massive Constantine fans, or big Constantine fans, and talk about them giving the fans what they want. And I'm like, you know what? They're right. I'm not the biggest Constantine fan, but I'm a pretty big Keanu Reeves fan, which why I'm so drawn to the film and why I'm so drawn to the idea of him coming back for this. And I'm like, yeah, they're not really playing fan service to the fans of Constantine, the fans of Keanu Reeves, and it might be a smart play financially, and like you guys said, getting seats or butts in the seats, but in the end, it could burn them. And same thing with J.J. Abrams, like what you're saying, like that 50-50 side of things.
To me, the first Constantine film had a different feel than the actual Constantine comic also, but we'll see. But what is doing good, and people are waiting the arrival for, right, McClay? I mean, Alberto.
Waiting just a little bit longer because I'm going to pull the screen up real quick. But yeah, this one caught me off guard because I had completely forgotten about Invincible. Season 1 came out, and much like everybody else, I binged season 1 quite quickly, might I add. And then all of a sudden, I kind of forgot about it. It was good. It's not a forgettable show. I guess just the gaps between news and when things came out just was much larger. And what really threw me off is in the article tonight, you put like how season 2 had finished production or something like that. But when you get into the article here at the very beginning, it says Invincible's 3rd season is already in production. So I'm doing double takes here. And I'm wait, 3rd season? Did I miss the 2nd season?
Yeah.
No, my understanding is they're wrapping up season 2. Season 2 should be coming out sometime soon here. And they've finished the voice acting for season 3. Now I'm pretty excited for this. Amazon purchased 3 total seasons, and I'm curious if you guys think has staying power beyond season 3.
And the live action supposed to be coming for Invincible.
Okay, I don't know.
And from what I read, I can't remember if it was this article or another article, is they get all the voice acting done, but animation studios themselves are so backlogged with doing animation that's what they're kind of waiting on, is to finish the actual animation to be done. So they've moved into production of season 3. But like you said, I think season 2 is imminent, but they haven't. I was expecting San Diego to have a release date, right? That was one of the things I was hoping from Skybound and everything, to have that release date. I don't remember hearing it, but if someone else did, please let me know. I'm excited for season 2. I think a lot of us that were fans of Invincible or familiar with Invincible had that angst and excitement and kind of had an idea like, hey, we think this can be a great thing. But I think a lot of people weren't expecting how good that first animated season actually was.
Caught people off guard.
Well,
I don't know much about it. I know that when the comic book came out, or the comic book too, it was a very highly sought after thing. It was a lot of folks trying to capture that book and whatnot, but I don't know much about it. I didn't see the series.
It was a book that, while not super cheap, severely undervalued, and just kind of like, yeah, Invincible is a great book if you read it, but it was kind of like the people that knew it collected it, but it wasn't as, I won't say mainstream. But when this animated series came out, a lot of people knew who the characters were and were hunting those characters.
It was a sleeper for sure.
I think that in this Invincible, the success of it, how Skybound has gone about creating everything is kind of like another win for them, to show like this is how it can be done. It can be done right. You don't have to push things. You don't have to make things, you do them how you want them. Like if this is what you want to do, make sure it's done right. And I feel that that's really happened with Invincible, right? We were all kind of a little angry that we weren't going to get the live action stuff as fast, but they said, hey, we're going to give you the animated stuff. And then we're kind of like, well, we don't really want animated. And the animated came out and it was killer. It's awesome. And it's going to hold us over, hopefully, till the live action stuff comes. And it's just creating more buzz. And then it even gets, I don't know how it worked out, but now we have Kirkman and Otley doing more Invincible stories. It's reviving it in the comics. We've all seen what's happened with the Kirkham variants. I think this is a win all across the board. Anytime they mention Invincible for Skybound, it shows how to get things done, how to do it right.
Yeah, and this seems smart. Dropping this article, like getting it fresh in people's minds again, because I had forgotten all about it until Brian brought this up.
Yeah, and the sooner it can come out and wipe the memory of Rings of Power off our minds. I'm kidding, but yeah, I'm excited for this. Fall is always a great time for premieres, so who knows? And it's great to see. Hopefully, season 3 will come quicker than season 2, since it's already in production.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how this plays out with the collectability of the comic as well. It was a full 13 years before there was a really sharp or hard increase in the value of a graded 9.8 of number one. It was 2014 or 2015, and the book was out in 2003. So it just kind of sat there, and it was a sleeper for a really long time until some news started hitting.
Even when it, like, I remember talking about it when it had $1,000 in a 9.8, and people were like, "That's expensive." Knowing this was on the back in the live action, it's like it's got plenty of room to grow. And you saw when this first came out, it was over $2,000. I'm not sure where they're sitting at now, but even the Larry's Comics version and the Comics Vault Live versions and the foil versions, they all do great.
It didn't break 1,000 in 9.8 until 2016, and then dipped down. The highs for 17, 18, and 19 were around 1,200, and then 2020 with news, it hit 1,750 as a high, and then $6,000 as a high in 2021, before dropping about 30% for this year.
That's ludicrous.
That's a big shift.
But
that's a grail of mine that I still don't own. I've been trying to buy this book for years. It's so hard just to find.
I bought a Larry's for like $250 right in about 2019. But because the regular one was kind of out of my range. Even though I felt I had room to grow, it was still out of my range.
What are 9.8s at right now for Invincible?
I don't know about asking prices, but the last sold was 2,800, so it's come down a substantial amount of money. Yeah, this year's high so far has been almost 4,300, and now the last sale was 2,800 based on GPA.
If this book drops down
object at the moment,
if this book drops down to anywhere around $2,000, buy. It's so hard to find in high grade, yet alone in any grade. Most copies are 9.0 and below, if I remember correctly.
This is that look for the dip moment for people that are hunting for that book.
Yep.
I want to find the Larry's on here, see if that's got a price. No, it's not separate. My bad.
So we went to some good DC news. We went to some indie Image Skybound news. Now we're gonna go to that shit crazy news, McClay.
Well, I think that all of us that have been watching the Ezra Miller timeline,
and we've definitely talked about it quite a few times on this show.
Yeah, and we've all kind of known that he was bipolar. Like very bipolar, manic, depressant, bipolar, up some days, down, up some, you know what I mean? Like when you're manic, depressant, and bipolar, it's so weird how those cycles work. And when you're manic and when you're going through a manic episode, it's exactly what Ezra Miller was doing. I mean, you could totally tell when he was in that video with the cops, when he was interviewing the cops and he has his lights on the cops and he's, "What's your name, badge number?" You could tell he was in a manic state. The drug use, you could totally tell that he has been on either meth or cocaine heavily. And, you know, the uppers, you know what I mean? Like manic, depressant, bipolar people seem to like love uppers, you know? And I knew it. I 100% knew it. And here we go. Ezra Miller believed he was the Messiah and the Flash was the Jesus of the multiverse. And here's the best part about it. He probably talked Warner Brothers into this because they put it all behind him. They're like, yeah, man, hell yeah. You know what I mean?
Some Edward Norton shit.
Yeah. This is another slam against Warner Brothers. Like how many more slams can Warner Brothers have? Like, what are you doing over there? Ezra Miller I feel bad for the kid. I really do, because the sad part about it is that we were all kind of high on him when he first got introduced. You know what I mean? I didn't think he was, I thought when he first showed up as Flash, he was probably the one that was most liked, that everybody was like, well, you know, I thought I was going to not like him and I really liked how he played it, this and that, you know, that type of thing. The dude's all over the place, man. And I don't know how much longer we can give him a pass, right? I don't know what to do. and how to deal with it. Supposedly he's seeking treatment. And this whole thing with this Vermont farm family, all this craziness, the Hawaii thing, like he's hanging out with a lot of interesting people, and it sounds like he's dealing with a lot of people in that kind of like dark, seedy world of drugs at the same time. He's all over the place. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think you get away with a lot more when you're a good actor, and I don't think not that that's right or wrong, but great actors get away with more and get more chances. Miller does not fall into that category. I mean, I don't know if it's like we've sunk too much into an investment. At one time, I heard they were still up in the air of what they might do with that new Flash movie. Heard they're cutting ties with them, but this fucking, I mean, excuse me, he's crazy. He's bonkers.
To read this is the crazy part. It says a month after Ezra said that they would enter treatment to deal with complex mental issues, a new report details the actor's disturbing downward spiral over the past 2 years, with Miller believing they were the Messiah.
I'm with McClay. I feel like this is Warner Brothers like holding the proverbial cap on top of the bottle, trying to keep this what they started going as long as they could until they're done using him, and then it's poof and gone. And like right now, the mess isn't quite as bad. We can clean this up, tidy this up, and help him. We can get through our investment or get a return on our investment, because I feel like once we see that Flash movie, if there's anything else happening and they tidy that up after that's done, I feel like they're gonna be completely done if he doesn't do like a 180. But like earlier, before we went live, I'm reading this. I'm like, this is like straight out of like a movie opening sequence. Like Miller, who was reportedly struggling with the aftermath of their parents' divorce. They always say
world
was accompanied by a 55-year-old South Dakotan medicine man and spiritual advisor named Jasper Youngbear, who would tell Miller that the actor was a Masonic and that demons were after him. Poof. Opening sequence. I'm like it sounds like that's made totally like, I'm not downplaying like spiritual advisors and stuff like that, but Miller just doesn't seem to fit into this like narrative in the story.
Well, that's how it always is. There's always the person who is the money maker, and then the hangers on that are gaslighting them, right? And that's exactly what happened. It says here, Miller would talk about the metaverse and the medicine and how they were the Messiah and that their work is here. A source said. Rolling Stone has hold on. They say that the spiritual practice is to be among the people, which means party. So when in Iceland, they were out nonstop. Their favorites were raves, where they'd go on benders for 2 or 3 days at a time.
Ooh, he fried his brain.
Burning sage in the barrel of an AR-15.
He's weird, bro.
I mean, I feel like he's just trying to push the limits as far as he can and say it's just to kind of troll and be like, look, but here's what we're gonna do, and look, we'll get away. It will be cool. It'll be like you'll blow over or something like that, just to kind of troll everybody.
All it takes is one bad batch of MDMA and somebody's brain is fried.
Yeah, I mean, there's reports of him out there like grooming kids and stuff too, from what I saw. But yeah, I think this might be one of the last times we report on Ezra, because this is just like, I don't know how much more spiraling you can do.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad, man.
It's just a bunch of trash.
Yeah.
So Ryan, lead us away from this topic.
Yeah. So stay away from that to I went to Colorado this past weekend. Speaking of going to crazy,
his own medicine man,
going into the mountains, and we did a bunch of MDMA and crossed it and cut it with some ecstasy and some other stuff. Yeah. And boy, it was wild. It was interesting because I thought we were in a smaller town. Well, it's called Gunnison, but we were also in just a couple different places that are smaller towns. And I was like, man, I want to try to see if I can find me a comic shop around here or card shop and just check it out. there was nothing to be found. And I got to thinking, I was like, man, how lucky are we that we have like comic shops or like card places. I was like, well, I can go to Walmart. I'm sure I can buy a pack. No, can't go to Walmart, buy a pack of cards there. And then I was like, man, I bet they never get to see like concerts and like artists and stuff. And I just really got thinking, like, man, is to live in an area where that is able, we're able to see those things on and not have to drive like maybe hours and hours away. And I just don't know if you know how far is that stuff from you guys? Have you ever thought about that? Like how easy it is for sometimes we take for granted, I guess, those things that we have, and that it's easily attainable. I can go to like 6 Walmarts within 30 minutes of me and find cards if I wanted to. But like there, it was like hours away to try to do something that you love. And I guess like if you were in that situation, would just not do the hobby. I thought about also musicians. Like that's how musicians kind of come out. Like they got nothing to do, but they learn how to play guitar or they play drums and find somebody that has the same kind of vibe they do. But man, it's just kind of I didn't really realize it till I was there.
Yeah, I think that's why places like Amazon and DCBS and a lot of these places got so big a couple of years ago when the internet first started taking off, because there's so many people in that situation. So
yeah,
until they start becoming raising all their prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess they would use I guess that's where like mycomicshop.com stuff like that comes into play. And because you want to do if you want to do like with a comic place, there's a difference between going to like a Walmart and buying stuff and there's going to a comic shop or a card shop and buying it. It's just different,
To me, it's bittersweet because I have one comic book store in town, which is Third Eye Comics. So it's a good comic book store, and it's it's not their main one in Annapolis. It's about an hour from me, but they've grown the one here to where it's almost the size of Annapolis. So I have one comic book store that could kind of sucks because I only have one place to go to, but I take the good with the bad because there's populated areas that have multiple comic book stores, but you still have the populace to deal with. Where here it's it's not podunk by any means, and there's a lot of comic book fans, but I still have a good grasp of, hey, if I get there, if it's something I really want and I get there on Wednesdays within the first half hour, I have a good chance of getting what I need, or if I've called ahead or I've pre-ordered it ahead, I guarantee it. But I'm lucky enough for a lot of times where, I can go to the comic book store and just be like, don't really need it, but if it's there, I'll grab it. And the chance of it being there is there. And luckily for Third Eye, I'm a big indie comic guy. They do buy a lot of indie comics. So a lot of the small publishers where some shops won't ever buy, they always have a good range of those indie books. And I know that usually have 1 or 2 copies. And as long as it's not like, ooh, I like that cover, I'll pick it up. There's usually a couple sitting on the shelf there. So kudos to Third Eye. They've always taken care of me. And a lot of times if they don't have it at this local one and they have it at Annapolis, they'll bring it down for me. And they've also grown into multiple other locations, such as Richmond, Virginia. They got one in Annapolis, Richmond, and I think Fredericksburg now. But either way, great group of people. I know Andy, he's got a great LCS also that he just buys every copy of Berserker.
Yeah, good gravy. Yeah. So this unfortunately is the narrative we hear from a lot of people in the community is there's nothing remotely close to them. And it is substantially cheaper to pay shipping for Midtown or Thanks for Another World or one of the other big online retailers that might ship them like bi-monthly or quarterly or something like that. And it's more convenient for them to get their books. And then that comes into the debate of trade versus floppy issues, because then if they have to wait that long to get floppies, they might as well just get the trades later on and save themselves a ton of money and heartache with damaged books. I, for one, am lucky. We've got 2 small shops in our town, or 1 big shop and 1 small shop. Fanfare's the big shop that I've been going to for as long as I can remember. They do a really good job taking care of us with pull lists, replacing damages. They're a big enough shop that if they call somebody with X number of damages, they get replaced pretty quickly in a week or less, usually, unless it's a big snafu. So I'm very lucky to have that. It's a shop that employs a lot of people, a lot more people than what you'd realize. It's not just the LCS that you walk in and there's an owner, maybe one person working. Every time I walk in, there's 8 or 9 employees covering that shop and a manager. And Tom, the owner, does a fantastic job running that shop. There's another small shop in the area that's got a couple of employees, but he's the type of guy that you walk in, you find like a very fine plus copy of Star Wars 1, and he'll like, oh, that's an 8.5, and he'll go on. That thing's gonna grade out an 8.5. He'll go on eBay and find a CGC 8.5, and he'll price a raw copy for a CGC asking price on eBay. One of those guys that'll check everything at the register to make sure that he's getting top dollar. So instead of winning out new customers or winning out a customer base over time, he's wanting that quick dollar now, maximum profit. So I'm concerned that he might that location might not have the legs that say like Fanfare or Third Eye for You, Brian. They might have with that overall customer base that they've built up over time. But yeah, I mean, that's a great thought, Ryan. That's honestly the narrative for a big portion of the comic book collecting community in this country is there's just nothing within a reasonable driving distance. And you're right. People have sometimes if they want to make that pilgrimage, it's literally a 3 or 4 hour drive in some cases.
But you didn't find comic book store. How many dispensaries did you find?
You know what? It's funny because we went to it's called there's a little town right outside of Gunnison that's supposed to have some of the dispensaries, and we just went down this walked down the street, and I looked around, but we did not find any. Like there was, and so I asked around. They're like, "Oh yeah, you got to come. You got to." So they're not as prevalent as you thought they would be, but they're there, but you got to get. They're more. They're not as like you. I thought they would be like a lot more. Because we were in. What was the name of this place? It was called. Man, I can't remember. Think of the name of it, but it was a very like hippie vibe, like just the vibe of the town of the place that we were. I'm gonna tell you the name of it here in just a second. Now I can't remember the name of it, but we looked around and just couldn't find it. Crested Butte, that's what it was called, Crested Butte, and it's very like laid back. It's like just that vibe that you're thinking of, and everyone there, I gotta tell you, everyone there was extremely nice in Colorado. Like everyone is like really nice, and it was like, man, I guess it is good to have everyone's like legalized, everyone's chilling. Like it was like really, everyone's really cool to each other, kind of laid back. So it was definitely a nice change of pace.
Nice.
But yeah, anyway, so that was just my thought. Like I was like, man, I was just it really came to like music. I was like in the town that we were in Gunnison, it's kind of a college town as well. But man, like if you had, I guess Whatnot would help out in that area as well. And I guess if you were like, you could probably run something out of your house or whatever. But I seriously like looked around and just tried to find. I was like, hey, there's got to be some spot, but it's just it just wasn't just not something that I'm sure there's other things there that people do that I'm not into. But I guess it just kind of goes to show you it depends on where you live at to really dictate what you have. And I don't think I'll take for granted that I have these things in close proximity.
Yeah, you just gotta make the trip to Red Rocks, man. But speaking of Berserker, Beardo. Tomorrow's new comic book day. Berserker's coming out.
80% of the way there. Number 10 of 12 is out, and I promised myself that I would stick it out to the end. And you know what, man? I am that proverbial falling on my own sword, if you will, because issue 10 is out. I think McClay's pulling it up.
Yeah.
And not too happy with the cover scenario on that. I promised myself I'd stick it out with all covers, all copies. It's one of the last indie titles that I'm reading where I'm getting all of those. And I've been interested in finishing out the read. I should have dropped to cover A about issue 6 or so, because McClay, if you pull it up right there at the top center, I want you guys to check out the Eastman cover. And I know everybody's going to have the same collective. Yeah. There's three of the same cover.
Ugh. What's up with that knife?
What's up with the eye?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Eastman's bad. Eastman's not good.
Yeah.
You know what? We need to just start being honest. Momoko's not good. Eastman's not good. John Romita Jr. is not good. This is, I get it, art subjective, but man, this is.
So Eastman's good when he stays in his lane, in my opinion.
What,
And I did
Lane
not
need turtles.
the turtle. I like turtles. In all honesty, I pre-ordered them. I committed to paying for them with my LCS, but man, did I feel like I make a bad choice because there are 3 of that cover. There's the trade dress cover of that. There's the foil version of that, and then now this is the 1 in 50 Virgin variant. And what am I reading? Like, is this an unknown villain out of Last Ronin? That's literally how I feel kind of looking at this.
It looks like he got hit with tomatoes.
Mottos.
I don't know. I had a vision. I committed to it, and did I make a wrong choice? Probably. Am I gonna stick with it? And
you never know, though. It might seem like a bad choice now, but you don't know.
No, I don't. But it's one of those things where it's just kind of like I pre-ordered it. I committed to paying for it. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna bag it and board it and put it away and forget about it for a couple of months.
Next thing you know, 2 or 3 years from now, you'll be like, so YouTube, hey, what's up, guys? You know, it's Berserker Season 3 hitting the television. I tell you what, pick up this Eastman cover. It was the most undersold cover. It's going for $3,300 raw on Whatnot on Tuesdays. And then you're going to be like, look at me, man.
Hey, Ken Tankers is right. Boom knows how to make money. You can see that in all of Boom's major titles. They did not pump the brakes. They smashed the gas to the floor with ratio variants for House of Slaughter, Somebody's Killing the Children, Once in Future, Berserker. There's more out there. Cantankers is not wrong.
I got a Boom book in my pick this week.
I'm dropping after issue 12 of Berserker. I'm gonna read the next series that comes out, but I'm not collecting any of the covers anymore.
This is one that I'd highly recommend to pick up and trade also. I haven't read the last 3 issues. I've enjoyed the story. I've just fallen off from not enough time to read stuff, but this is one that I recommend to people that, you know, if they're not like a huge fan of Berserker and just want to read a good story, to pick it up and trade.
Yeah, but moving right along without making this the focal point, Darth Vader is out tomorrow. That's going to be a fun read. Doesn't Drew from Wanted Comics have a variant coming out tomorrow as well?
He does. He has a Creepshow variant coming out tomorrow.
He does. And then, I'll bring up one more if you guys skip over it at the tail end.
Where's the Creepshow variant? It is. I had it up.
I ordered a copy from Wanted Comics.
Yeah,
I ordered the trade dress because I think the trade dress looks better.
Well, it's not under Creepshow. What's it under?
It should be under Creepshow.
Well,
for Skybound.
There it is, right there. This is where is the Wanted Comics?
That's the Virgin. Right,
they don't have.
Go up like 2, down 1. Isn't it the one right to the right one?
Yeah, it's the trade.
No, it's
right.
Hold on. Let me show you.
Oh, I wish I had the picture saved in.
It's David Mack. And it's acrylic, and it's
I got it right here.
Here it is.
You got it, McClay? There you go.
David Mack.
Yeah, look at that.
Samsonite. I was way off.
Samsonite.
That's so creepy, man.
It's super cool because he did mention this is kind of out of David Mack's comfort zone normally, and he thinks he did a stellar job on this.
Yeah. Really, really good. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, and to me, I think the trade dress does a lot better than the Virgin on that one.
Yeah.
Because it gives it that creep show feel.
Yeah, I think the creep show on the trade dress is definitely a key for me. Did Hive do a creep show too?
I believe so.
Hive did one too. Yeah. There are quite a few books out this week. A couple I'll wait for you guys to talk about, but I am loving the Axe Judgment Day stuff so far. That's
surprising. It's mildly surprising.
Dude, it's good, man.
But they never know how to finish an event.
Yes, you're right. You're right. But what I will say is is it good, or is it just because I've got Trey hyping me up over it? Because Trey can basically hype anybody up over a comic. And don't get me wrong, like I've been reading and it's been really good. But when I do a show with Trey every Wednesday and he's just talking about how great this book is, like it gets me even more wanting to, the next issue. And I love the fact that I love the Magneto story. I love it and I hate it. Like I don't want there to be no more Magneto, but they played it so well. And if you guys aren't reading this, go read it. It's amazing. X-Men Red is my favorite so far.
Are you getting New Mutants tomorrow?
No, because it seems like it's more of a like a 40th anniversary. Yeah.
I do like the Sienkiewicz cover though.
Yeah. There is a Sienkiewicz. It looks to me like it's more like a 40th anniversary. Where is it? Type thing, then and just like a replay, a redo issue. There it is. So the A cover is really nice, really cool. Sienkiewicz is a 1 in 50, which if 40th anniversary of the New Mutants, you got to have a Sienkiewicz cover, But it says, celebrate the 40th anniversary of X-Men's useful misfits. Throughout the past 40 years, New Mutants has remained a timeless contemporary voice for the marginalized youth who must grow up in a harsh, cruel world. In this supersized issue, Vita, Alaya, Rod, Rice, and more craft a mosaic love letter dedicated to the mutant youngsters who have become the beacon of hope in a new generation X-Men. Commemorating classic and new characters alike, this collection of shorts celebrates 4 decades worth of joy, So, like, it could be cool. I don't know.
It may as well be an annual.
Yeah.
But I do like Jeff Shaw's interior art.
I like Sabine Rich's Magic cover, too. So, yeah, this is cool. This right here, it might be my pick of the week.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is Avengers number 68, I believe. The 68, 60. And of course, I'm gonna read it no matter what because it's a Judgment Day tie-in.
Looks like Capcom type.
Yeah, here's the A cover. Pretty cool A cover.
Yeah.
But the Beyond Amazing. Talk about a great book. What a great way to name a book. Beyond Amazing. What are the chances on that one, right? So yeah, Beyond Amazing. Choose your hero. Beautiful. I mean, you got Miles and Spider-Gwen on it in these cool colors. Yeah, this is a book to buy right here. So what does it say? McClay's right. Those guys he mentions suck. I have not bought any new comics in months. The writing sucks. The last good writing I read was Echolands. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's when you went on your rant. So and so sucks. This person sucks.
Yeah.
We can go on a list like that for a whole show.
Yeah.
Brian, what are you doing tomorrow? Don't show that yet.
Okay, I was gonna say this is what you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, John Royal, man. 298. Always pick up the 1 in 10 John Royals. But more importantly, 298. When we hit 300, what happens, McClay? No more IDW Joe, right?
Yeah.
Have they announced who got the license? I haven't heard.
I think we probably know who got the license.
Well, unofficially, but I mean they haven't really.
I'm surprised. I don't think they're going to announce it until after IDW run is done. I imagine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, John Royal. If you're not following John Royal on Facebook, make sure you do because he always shares his covers and he also shares like his line art and then colors. He also does sometimes alternative covers. But his next one, I tend to like more of his 1 in 10s that have like Baroness and female characters because he follows that, J. Scott Campbell, Paul Green type style, but always picking up the John Royal 1 in 10. Full disclosure, I am way off on this series. I haven't read probably in about the last 20 issues. I like to also buy the IDW collections, the hardcovers, and then stack those up and then just pull those out and read them while smoking cigars.
Yeah, I think that John Royal is great because he keeps it 100% correct to the OG GI Joes. You always see Snake Eyes with his little Uzi, his sword on his back. The backpack is correct.
Little
Airborne
Uzi.
looks on point. I mean, you could tell either he's a GI Joe fan or he doesn't want to screw the fans over. You know what I mean? I also like the B cover too. I've been liking these B covers with all the characters too. So great stuff.
Are those B covers connectable?
I think so.
Yeah, and I want to say John Royals 300 is kind of not a group like that, but does have multiple.
Yeah, here's Royals. Where's Royals 300? Right here.
Yeah.
So here's 300 for everybody, and that's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah. And like I said, he put on Facebook like an alternate cover. It was like all red. It looked pretty badass too. But
yeah. So yeah, last issue right here. This one is going to be one to pick up when 300 comes out. Look at that.
Dang.
Yeah, man. All good. This is it, the final G.I. Joe. So, but yeah, here is 297. Let's see if those covers connect. So we've got Night Creeper, purple Night Creeper over here, and what's this guy's name again? Not the Mindbender guy. He's like a Mindbender, but a new Mindbender. Anyways, let's see if they connect here. 298. You've got. Yep, they connect. There. Yeah, there's his feet right there, right?
It'd be a pretty solid set to grab.
Yeah. Ooh, I like how it's got the Alley Viper back here too.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe is just so good, man. So good. Ryan, I think that one that you're going to pick up might have one of the best covers of the week also.
You talking to me?
Yep.
Well, you're the only Ryan here.
Oh, I didn't see it was Ryan or Brian.
Are you picking up Carnage 6?
No.
What?
Really? Look at that cover right there.
I only collect Venom. I don't like Carnage. But yeah, I know there was some cool covers coming out. I haven't kept up with that story at all, but I'm very Venom only. That's the only symbiote thing I really care about. That and Scream. I like Scream.
This is from the Memphis Comic Expo exclusive. And if that is the case, that it is a con exclusive from Memphis Comic Con, and that's the only place you can get this book is going to be just on fire in a couple months.
And Kyle's going to be there too.
Anybody out in Memphis, let me know. I'll hook you up to you. Get me one of these. That's amazing. Unreal.
Oh, and there's some other cool cover. There's some decent covers for that one.
This right here is my final little one I'll talk about today. The Darth Bane. Yeah, the Darth Bane Sprouse. I think this is a great play. First and only Darth Bane cover, I believe, right? Or wait, was he on Jedi vs. Sith?
I don't think so.
No, he's on
he was in Batman. He was in Batman.
I think that's the first his first cover, I believe. So interesting. Very, very cool.
I think the only other book that hadn't been mentioned tonight that I'm hearing a lot of people talking about paying attention to is Edge of Spider-Verse #4. Apparently there's possibly a couple of minor character first appearances in that. So
they got like a second appearance of what's her name? Sun Spider or whatever. That was there were some cool covers for it.
I mean, for any Edge of Spider-Verse fans out there, that'd be the one I'd look to on Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon at the LCS to see if it's sold out or if there's copies available. Get it while you can get it for cover price. Whoa.
Yeah.
Sun Spider and Ventress.
So Sun Spider's second appearance is what they're saying. and the other one a first appearance. Is that what you're saying, Brian?
I think so. The Sun Spider showed up in like it was like a contest or fan
Sun
contest.
Spider, yeah, Sun Spider showed up in Spider-Verse 6.
Yeah.
And Spider-Verse 3, it looks like. So
Okay. I'm just pulling what I saw off of IG.
Spider-Mobile, Spider-Ham. Who knows? I can't keep up with a lot of these first appearances, man, because you just don't. Yeah, you just don't know.
Ryan, did you have another book?
I do have a book that I'm getting tomorrow. It's on my pull list. It's not from Marvel. It's from Image.
Ooh,
Vanish.
Vanish.
Yeah, that's right. I like Donny Cates. That's all right. I'm right. I can say that. If you don't like it.
It reminds me of what was that movie Will Smith was in where he's like the washed up superhero?
Oh,
what's it?
Legend?
Clutch? It wasn't Clutch.
No, not Legend. Bennett,
Hayward or
so. Remember, this is that one I told you that it kind of they were creating this character the same time they were creating that one in Venom.
Yeah,
and they look very, very similar.
Hancock.
Yeah, Hancock.
Yeah.
So like it's like almost like that character in Venom. They were like, oh, we like it like this, and we don't want to do anything with this character now because we're going to have a spinoff of it. And so then they made this guy vanish months or a year later after it had been out for whatever. So that was because he looks a lot like the character that Dylan was in that other universe, whatever.
Yeah, eerily similar.
Yeah, because I think they even kind of said it was around the same time. But yeah, it's interesting. Anyone to see what it's about, check it out and see if it's. The thing that's kind of annoying me is these smoke coming from the eyes. It's always there. And it's like that. I don't know why that's always there. These smoky eyes.
Yeah, there's quite a few covers for it too. Is there a lot of store exclusives for this?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's all kinds of it's
Stegman and Cates, man.
Yeah.
Is this their first creative adventure outside of one of the big two?
Well, I guess beyond crossover.
Yeah.
But crossover, I don't think it was Stegman.
No.
So yeah, this is the two outside. And they did. This is their big push. Whenever they did their what's that little side thing you take? You get a Substack thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them pushing this on Substack. I got one book. Everything else we pretty much talked about. My Boom book. R.L. Stine, man. Boom's always teaming up with R.L. Stine lately. They got one called Stuff of Nightmares, #1, coming out tomorrow. And it's got some great covers, some glow-in-the-dark covers. Halloween's coming up. I like some spooky comics during Halloween. And then there's like a Bjorn Barons cover as well that I believe you can even get a signed R.L. Stine version of that from what I'm hearing. But yeah, good old Goosebumps.
Yep. Where's that? Where'd you say? Which one was it?
It's Stuff of Nightmares.
Stuff of Nightmares.
Makes me think of the days I was walking in the Scholastic Book Club wearing a.
I know. If you think R.L. Stine, you're usually thinking Scholastic Book Club.
Get me a personal pizza.
But
and a bunch of cool books and a poster, a Lamborghini poster. Ooh, hey. I like how they stuck with the old. This looks just like a cover of an R.L. Stine book.
Yeah.
It's Mercado too.
But yeah, like I said, they get some cool glow in the dark covers as well. But so I'm picking that up. If anything, I'll probably pick up a copy for my kids.
Oh wow, they do
like the Virgin that's on the second from the last row on the left, and then that trade dress. That's the Bjorn Barons one.
Oh, that's creepy. That, you know what this looks like, and I hate to say it. This looks like he used a little bit of AI art on it.
Yeah.
Does look creepy though.
Did you use AI art? What? Oh.
Have you guys heard about that? Yeah.
What's that thing called?
So I also want to take a moment to thank Cantankerous for the super chat and pointing out that my Giants they're not very good this year. Fire Gabe Kapler. I said it. I'm kidding. But
Peter Parker says he has finishes heat vision like Superman. Yeah, but does he always have to have smoke coming from his eyes? Because all the covers have smoke coming from his eyes. It's just like, come on, really?
Maybe that's Stegman's thing.
Yeah, that's gonna
What
leave
about
us
the
with
piano jacket?
one more thing. What do you got for us, Alberto?
Absolutely. One more thing. I didn't get to it this weekend, but the first box back from CGC after C2E2, this was submitted a couple weeks after C2E2. This box was standard tier, no fast track, nothing special, just straight up regular old modern, and was done in like 3 weeks or something like that, or 4 weeks. And I couldn't believe it. It's back. We're going to get that unboxed. We're going to upload that to the YouTube channel and have some fun with that. It's some killer Star Wars stuff. So I'm really excited to see what those grades are. And I'm hoping to have that done this upcoming weekend. I tried this past weekend. It didn't work out. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel and we're going to have some fun with that.
What you got, McClay?
Come hang out with us on Wednesday and Saturday nights on the channel. We've been doing these crazy marathon 4-hour shows on Saturday nights, and I got to figure out how to put an end to that. So I think that we're going to be starting up a members only group on Beyond Wednesdays here soon. It's going to be like, I think the first tier is going to be like $1.99. And anybody that joins that first tier will be able to view live shows and take part in the chats and stuff like that. And then I'll cut it up into like 4 1-hour segments or 3 1-hour segments and put out for everybody else the rest of the week. Other than that, I can't think of any way to kind of end that because it just gets so crazy. So we'll see how it works out, but come check us out Beyond Wednesdays.
What you got, Ryan?
So don't use Priceline. It's going to tell you my boo-boo situation with Priceline. I had booked a trip to Colorado with the airfare and the rental car all in one. Booked it, solid, ready to rock it, and landed in the place that I was going to in Colorado Springs, and the plane was 30 minutes late. Well, that 30 minutes late put me past the time, which allowed the Alamo guy to be at his stands. They leave at 12. When we got there, we landed at 12. So by the time I got to the stand, he had already left, which then left my wife, my 2-year-old, and my 1-year-old, and my 83-year-old mom stuck inside the airport until 2 a.m. because there was no Ubers, no taxi cabs, no shuttles or anything like that, until a cop came by and said, "What are y'all doing here?" And we told him our situation. He called someone he knew they got a cab to us.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
And when I actually talked to the Alamo guy said they were supposed to stay there until the flight got there. But then when I looked on, it was actually Priceline's fault because they said they didn't connect something, and it was all this other jazz. And so they said that they have all kinds of problems with the third party, especially Priceline. So it's going to tell you, like, it seems like it's cheaper, and I usually try to go for the cheaper deal, but man, I'll tell you from experience, that sucked hard to be for 2 hours, not knowing what was going on. My kids crying, hungry, my mom's getting sick, like want to know what's going on, and it sucked bad. So being that experience, I would have paid a little extra just to get it all correct. But apparently it stemmed from Priceline, so I'm just going to tell you my terrible experience.
I only use Priceline if it's a single thing, if I just need a flight or just need a hotel room. If you start connecting too much, it's too much of a risk. But
yeah,
my one more thing, I'm just gonna say I'm an idiot, and for Patreon members, I sent out the Patreon boxes in August, at the end of August, and they all came back to me because I messed up on the shipping for them. So
because you did what?
They're packed, they're combined. I'm putting August and September together, and those boxes will be going out this weekend. So for Patreon members going, where the hell are my books? That's my fault. I'm a doom cop, Shiza cop, whatever you want to call it. Messed that up. So they will be going out this week. And with that being said, thank everyone in the chat. I just saw F Priceline in the chat. So
F Priceline.
Thank you guys so much. And let us know if you guys have a topic you want us to discuss, or if you want to come on the show even. We will get you in here. Enjoy the conversation. Cantankerous, you're always welcome, buddy.
Look up Rhinoverse, and you can send me messages there through Facebook, whatever, for us topics if you like.
Hell yeah. That being said, guys, we will see you next week.
Look. They talking like they don't know a king when they see one. See him in person, he take it back like a refund. Ballin' with my brothers, all my playing D1. Daily checking chicken, he gon' spin it watching reruns. Say they real, but they clones of me.